Good morning, you guys, and welcome to today's video. I am super excited for today's video because today we are going yarn shopping. So as we all know, Joann is going bankrupt and they are having their liquidation sale right now just to get rid of all of their stock. And I have been out of the state for about a month, so in Virginia, I have not been able to shop most of the liquidation sale at all. So for today's video, we are going to be visiting 4 different Joanns. We're going to be visiting Newport News, Williamsburg, Virginia Beach, and Chesapeake. We are going to visit 4 today just because I am a little bit nervous that a lot of the places are going to have very little stock. I did go to the Hampton Joann the other day, about 2-3 days ago. I'm going to insert a video here for you guys, but it was not very good. They had like absolutely nothing except I think like the finger knitting yarn. Other than that, they were completely out of stock, and today I'm just really not sure how it's gonna go. I will say that while we are mainly shopping for funsies, we are also looking for one specific yarn, which is gonna be the Big Twist favorite cotton yarn, hopefully in the hot pink color, but honestly any color will do. I recently crocheted a blue beach tote bag using that yarn and I really love it, and I kind of still want to experiment with the pattern and kind of show you guys my freehanding process and overall just kind of create a new pattern. But without further ado, let's go shopping. Okay, you guys, our first Joann is going to be 32 minutes away, so let's head out. As we just arrived to our first Joann, we are at the Joann in Chesapeake, Virginia. It is 9:47 a.m. and I am pretty hopeful that they have a lot of stock. As I said earlier, the Joann in Hampton just literally had pretty much nothing, but there is a decent amount of people here today, so I'm hoping that means that they're still getting stock in and there's some stuff for me to look at. So let's go. And like I said, our first store today is going to be the Chesapeake Joann. It says new merchandise every day, so hopefully that's a good sign. And of course, if we get a cart, that means we're gonna find things. I just got to my first aisle of yarn and this is what it's looking like, so not super hopeful right now. They do have a lot of the Big Twist baby yarn in these pink, purple, and ooh, kind of like a steel blue color. This one is probably my favorite. But I am a big fan of the Big Twist baby bunny yarn. I haven't actually used it yet, but it is very soft and it is cotton, and I do love me a good cotton yarn. They do not have much of the Big Twist favorite cotton yarn, which is what I was coming here for, to be honest. They only have the white, and I did want to use this for a beach bag, but I do feel like white is probably the wrong color to use for a beach bag. I mean, I guess I could dye it, so maybe we will get some of this. Okay, our second aisle of yarn is looking a bit more hopeful. They have a lot of the Big Twist regular acrylic yarn as well as the Value Pound acrylic yarn. Not the biggest fan of Big Twist acrylic. I do love all of their other yarn though. Let's see what else we got here. We have the Big Twist living yarn, which I do find a little... Okay, I do find a little difficult to find. I don't think I've ever really felt it. It is 100% anti-pilling acrylic yarn. It is pretty soft, especially for a nice acrylic yarn. Probably something I would use for like a cute little cardigan. But they have red, blue, black. My girl Christian does love a good purple. But so far, nothing really that we would get our hands on other than the Big Twist favorite cotton yarn. Okay, we just walked into our 4th aisle of yarn and this is looking a lot more hopeful. Let me show you what we found. So the first thing that I saw was the KC Essential Cotton yarn, which if you guys know me, you know that KC Essential Cotton is literally one of my favorite yarns ever, especially this one. This one is the KC Essential Cotton, I believe in cream. And I use this one a lot in my projects, especially with my bucket hats. I think it is such a pretty cream color, probably the prettiest cream color of any yarn that I've ever seen. So honestly, might get one of these, but like we talked about earlier, they also have the Big Twist favorite cotton, which is in a very similar color. Big Twist and KC Cotton are both yarn products of Joann. Actually, they're a lot different than I thought, but like I said, if I do get this one and make a bag out of it, I'm probably gonna dye it, which would be really fun and cool to do because I've never really done that before. The other thing that I was super excited about with this aisle is look at all of their KC wool and like alpaca yarn. I have never seen this much, especially this color. This one is the KC Color Paca, I think it's called, but it is super soft. What is it made out of, honestly? It's in the color Persian red and it is made out of polyamide, merino wool, and baby alpaca. It is really soft and I feel like it'd be good for a sweater. I've never worked with yarn like this before, but honestly, it is summertime. I have way too much yarn. If you guys saw my last TikTok, you'll see that I literally brought home a luggage full of yarn. So not sure if I necessarily need things that I don't have a project for. And then they also have this one I've seen before, the superwash wool luxe yarn. I do love these colors, especially this one. I'm very big on pinks and purples, but they have a lot of color variations in it. And then finally they also have this one, which I have used before for, I made like a goldfish cracker. This one is their essential wool in ballet pink. I don't think I'm gonna get any of this, but I definitely feel like just because I don't know if I'm gonna find the Big Twist favorite cotton in the color I need, I want it in the hot pink color, that I'll probably get these just in case. And if I do find the hot pink color, I could dye this one a different color. Because remember, everything at Joann right now is non-refundable. If you buy it, you can't take it back. But I don't want to lose out on not getting this. But for now, I think we're just going to get the Big Twist favorite cotton yarn in this white color. Like I said, if we find the pink that we need, we will just dye this a different color, but we're still going to get it. So I did just finish shopping at the Chesapeake Joann. I do want to save the haul to the very end, but now we're going to head over to the Virginia Beach Joann. Okay, you guys, we made it to the Virginia Beach location, and I am super hopeful for this one because this looks like a huge store. Ooh, and they have the fancy carts too. I should have brought my drink in. I do already see my favorite yarn sitting on this table, but if you can see these aisles, yikes, they're pretty bare. But this is basically what the rest of the aisle looks like. They have the Big Twist plush yarn, a little bit of the Juicy Couture. This brown is really pretty. I don't really like working with like velvet yarn, but this brown is super pretty. They do have some Burnett blanket, more Juicy Couture, and then like we talked about, the KC cotton. Moving on to our third aisle, they obviously don't have very much. They do have this white Red Heart Super Saver, and then the only other thing that they have in this aisle are going to be the Karen Simply Soft in this blue and this green. The blue is super pretty. I do love it. It's very shiny. It's kind of giving like teal turquoise. This is in the color Blue Mint. And then this green is also pretty. I definitely feel like it's showing up darker on camera. It is definitely like super bright. I feel like that's a better look at it. And this is in the color Kelly Green. Very pretty as well. But I don't really need it. Like we talked about, I am mainly looking for cotton yarn, or I don't know, just something that grabs my attention, I guess. We are in the final aisle of yarn for the store, and as you can see, it is a lot of just wool yarn. I've never really used wool yarn before. If you guys do like it, please let me know, because I see a lot of it at Joann, and if it's worth getting my hands on, that'd be good. But I do know that wool yarn is typically used for a lot of amigurumi stuff, and I am a clothing crochet girl, so just not exactly sure what I would use it for. But we are gonna head out now and move on to our next location. We've made it to Joann number 3, which is the Williamsburg Joann, and this place is not looking promising, but we are gonna hold out hope. Fixtures, furniture, and equipment for sale. That is very interesting. Okay, but I'm walking around because they like closed off some of the aisles of yarn, and they kind of condensed it all into one area, which is going to be right here. I will say I am intrigued by these yarn zippers. I've used one before and they actually work out really well. It's just very tedious for me to do because I've only done it once. But I was thinking of making myself like a cute little like cropped hoodie, just because I feel like I really need a black cropped hoodie. So maybe we'll get a yarn zipper. This is what the aisle looks like for their only selection of yarn. And as you can see, it's not much, and as we talked about earlier, it's not much of the stuff I would usually get. For example, Big Twist acrylic yarn. I do love their other yarns though. And then they have like the ready to knit yarn. This one's from Burnett, the Blinky Easy yarn, that's what it's called. And then finally they do have like 2 Karen 1 pounds, and then just a bunch of Burnett blanket yarn, especially a lot of chunky Burnett blanket yarn. The only thing that's really catching my attention is the Aunt Lydia's crochet thread, especially because this thing is huge. I'm not sure how much this weighs. It is 2,730 yards, so this is a lot of yarn, and I was thinking about getting something like this just because I do kind of want to try out filet crochet, but I don't know. I feel like I need to look into it more before I actually get my hands on this. Especially since right now Joann's yarn sale is only 25% off, so I know that maybe I could find it a little bit cheaper at Michael's. But I definitely feel like this is it for this Joann. I don't think I'm gonna get anything, and I say we just move on to our fourth stop. We made it to the Newport News Joann. We are gonna hope for the best, but this definitely is a smaller Joann than usual. Okay, so far we are looking good because I'm seeing some yarn on the end caps. So, oh wow. Wow, they have a lot of yarn here. Okay, let's look. Okay, so starting off in the aisle, they do have the Red Heart Granny Square yarn, which I think is really pretty, especially this purple, blue, black combo. I'm not sure if I want to get it though, just because I don't make a lot of Granny Square stuff, but I definitely feel like it would just be fun to try it out. And then a lot of this aisle is actually just a lot of big twist yarn. So we have the Value Pound, the regular Big Twist, and then we have the Big Twist Living yarn. I think this is what I was feeling earlier that I said was really soft. I am not seeing the Big Twist favorite cotton yarn though, which is the biggest thing I want. They do have a decent amount of the KC Essential cotton yarn though, mainly 3 colors, I think, 4 colors. Black, white, the light blue, and the dark blue. I don't think I need any. I might want to stock up on the black and the white just in case, but I'm not sure yet. And then the next aisle is pretty bare. Okay, so they have more crochet thread, which I find very strange because usually at these Joann's I don't see a lot of crochet thread. I just see this one though. And then again, same thing, like the off the hook line brand yarn, and then the Burnett Blanket Easy yarn. It's basically just ones you don't need a hook or a needle for. And they have a lot of colors. They still do have a good amount of tools and a bunch of stitch markers, but I think that these stitch markers are just for knitting needles. Yeah, I'm not seeing any for crochet. And then they actually have, I've never seen these before, they're Big Twist circular knitting needles. That's pretty cool. This Joann does have a lot of yarn in like the middle of the hallways. I'm not exactly sure what you'll call it, but they have a lot of yarn there, so we're gonna go check that out. Okay, it actually looks like they're completely naked, so nothing here. And then again on the same side too, nothing. So pretty much the only yarn they have is in that one aisle. Okay, you guys, we're finally done shopping, and I was honestly expecting to spend like $100, maybe more dollars. No, we spent 16. So I know you guys probably know what we already got, but I do want to go over it again and just kind of talk about what we're going to use it for. So we got 4 of the Big Twist favorite cotton in the color, I'm assuming white. It's in the color soft white. Like I said, we did want a hot pink, but we couldn't find it. And this actually gives us more options because with the white, we are going to dye it just because it's a beach bag. But this gives us the options to decide what color we want to dye it. Honestly though, I'll probably still go with hot pink, but we'll see how it goes. I am pretty excited to actually dye our project though, because I've never really dyed cotton yarn before. The most I've done dyeing wise is using a color protector so that my project didn't bleed. Because if you guys remember the Dr. Pepper tank top that I did, that project, at least the first one, it bled really bad and the logo got really messed up and I had to redo the entire front panel. But yeah, I'm really excited to use this. If you have seen my blue beach bag that I made, that is not the final pattern. I do still want to tweak it, and that's going to be one of our next videos as well. I'm going to go over my entire freehanding process and just kind of talk you guys through what kind of goes through my mind while I'm freehanding. And then of course at the end we are going to have a pattern release, and if I can get my hands on more of these, maybe we'll do a full YouTube tutorial on how to make the bag. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope that it wasn't too disappointing for you guys. I really thought that Joann would have at least a decent more stock. But again, thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video.